As parents, we have lots of questions about safety at home and ways that we can help keep our suicidal youth safe. Parents, youth, service providers, and experts in suicide prevention have come together to share with us what they found most helpful and most hopeful in their journeys, and to reassure us that we are not alone.
Safety at home is a really tricky one because, people will say, safety-proof your house, remove the hazards, but you can't remove all the hazards. It's just not practical. So I think what you have to do is focus on removing the most obvious hazards. So you can look to past behavior. If there's some things that you know are associated with that are hazards, then remove those.
Today's children and youth are also exposed to dangers from social media, from the internet. So as part of keeping kids safe, it's also important to have limits on social media and technology so that kids don't get over-connected to dangerous people or stressful peers and activities.
I think the key parts to the safety at home is about knowing the early warning signs, having a safety plan.
I would build a checklist of what items in the house are either a trigger item or a difficult item to be around for yourself or your youth. Just to build that checklist when you're in a calm state and a rational state. That way you know exactly what you need to put down, as well as having someone you trust take those away.
Once, you and your parents decide to put those things away, put them to the side, you'll be able to know that once you come in the house that those things are not necessarily available there. So maybe your thoughts won't be thinking of it as much,
You work with the person to see if they can identify, maybe it's time you held on to my meds, or, whatever it might be that reduces access to anything with which they could hurt themselves. And my hope is that it's as collaborative as it can possibly be.
Involve your youth in their own health and involve them so that they have some sort of autonomy over themselves. Anything coming from parents to a youth, we see it as, you're telling me what to do, you're trying to control me. I don't want to be controlled. And I don't want to be told what to do, But if you involve me, it's different, because now I'm like, oh, okay, I have a say in this as well, and it makes it more impactful.
Explain to your child why you're doing certain things. For example, the second time when we came back from the Queensway Carleton Hospital, I had removed anything that I felt could be dangerous. And partway through my search, I kind of thought to myself, you know what? There's a whole house here. I can't remove it from the whole house. It's better if I sit down with her and tell her, I'm really concerned about you. You need to communicate with me if something is wrong. If you're feeling those feelings again, it's really important that you tell me about that. And that way we will develop trust. You don't want me going through your stuff. I understand that, and I respect your privacy. But don't push me to the point that I need to take action to protect you. And when we sort of established those guidelines, it worked quite well. And she's gotten to the point now, at almost 19 years old, that she's pretty responsible.
Once I was getting more aware of how I was feeling, I was able to tell my parents, hey, I need, the household cleaners put away, or I need sharps put away, any medications put away, because I knew that if they were going to be around, I might be doing something that I would regret later on. So depending on how I felt, they could be taken away for a couple of days, they could be taken away for months, but at least I knew that I felt safe, and my parents felt comfortable knowing that I was safe as well.
You know, when we're talking about safety at home, one of the sort of most important things for us is, as parents, learning to manage our fear and not letting our fear paralyze us or distress everyone else. You know, you have to learn to manage it, and how you do that is certainly easier said than done. But you know, educating myself is helpful, and remembering the things like the periods of suicidality tend to be short-lived. So this, as scary of a period as it is, if you can kind of keep your eye on the prize and just stay calm and manage your fear, because your child is probably really scared. So you can't both be.
You can't obviously be with them all the time, but you're always aware of where they are and what they're doing. Be aware of closed doors. I think they know that you asking how they're doing is supportive for them, even though it appears that they don't want to talk to you because the door's closed.
I also think that my family, when I had that door shut, maybe could have just checked in more, like, oh, is he actually video gaming, or is he actually on the computer? Because you don't actually know what they're going through until you not seem or act interested, but you actually take the time to sit down and engage with the person.
Love the person. Be with them in a regular way when things aren't at, you know, their peak, as it were. That the person knows that coming home is a safe place.
You don't have to be actively parenting in order to be supportive. You know, just being there every day. Right? That's sometimes the most helpful.
Visit the resources on Plio's website at plio.on.ca for more information on this important topic. And please reach out, because you know that together we can do so much to help our families move forward.